But one of Michigan's oldest beers recently made a comeback and is celebrating a one-year anniversary with a very special brew. Joining me now, Eric Stief from the Altes Beer. Hey, Eric, how are you this morning?
Hey, Charlie.
Okay, Altes Beer.
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing great today. Where's my beer? Is what I'm looking for. But anyway, Altes Beer. Wasn't it back in the day about $5 a case for Altes Beer?
Well, in its final throes back in the 90s, when it was a lower priced beer, but when it goes back to its history, it was actually the most popular beer in Michigan and was premium priced.
Actually, if I remember, Altes was the sponsor for the Detroit Tigers and the Lions back in, you tell me, maybe the 70s, maybe?
60s and 70s. I don't have that budget yet, but we're working on it.
That's pretty good. So Altes Beer, it's about 100 years old or so, isn't it?
Yeah, going back in the history books, it was brewed as far back as 1910 in Detroit. And then by the 40s, it was the most popular beer in Michigan. Like you said, 60s and 70s, it was the sponsor of the Lions and the Tigers. Then by the 90s, when the big got bigger, it was acquired and shut down.
Why did
me and my buddies got together? Yeah. Oh, sir.
No. Why was it shut down in the 90s? And where was it made?
So by the 90s, it was made in Frankenmuth by a brewery called the Heilman Brewery. And in the 90s, there was just a big consolidation in the brewing industry in general. And so the big guys, by the end, Stroh bought them, and then Pabst bought Stroh. And then when Stroh went bankrupt, everybody decided which beers were going to make it, which ones weren't. And Altes hit the cutting room floor, unfortunately.
So why did you want to bring back Altes Beer?
Well, I've been a brewer for around 35 years, and me and my two buddies, all Detroiters, we just had a passion for the brand. We remember stealing it from our dad or whatever, and we knew that there was still a lot of passion for this brand, and we wanted to bring it back. We knew that there was a real love for the brand. We wanted to get into the beer industry. We wanted to bring something back to Detroit that we could manufacture here and independently run and own, and so we lucked out. Found this brand. I pinch myself to remember I'm in the beer business now.
Now, are you going to distribute Altes Beer nationally, or is it going to stay here in Detroit?
Well, 100% we're dedicated to our local market first, Detroit and throughout Michigan. So we're available throughout Michigan, even up in the UP. I sent some beer up there just recently, as a matter of fact. But we do have discussions going on to bring it to other parts of the country. There's certainly demand in other parts of the country. I can't tell you how many Facebook messages or emails we get. Hey, why aren't you in California yet? Hey, why aren't you in Florida? A lot of people from the Detroit area remember it and live elsewhere now.
Where are you making the beer now? And where can we get it?
We make it. Oh, sure. Yeah, we make the beer at a place called Brewed Detroit, which is right down in Corktown, a great production brewery. And then it's available at retailers across the state. If you go to altes.beer, there's a store locator. You can type in your address and find out where it is available. Yeah, bars and restaurants, too, when they open.
Yes, when they open, I guess a little typical. Beer's selling, but it's not in the bars and restaurants. Okay, so here we go, Eric. We got some questions here. People want to know the following. What about Falstaff beer, red, white, and blue, Black Label, some of the great beers back in the 60s and 70s? Are they going to make a comeback?
Well, if they do, it won't be nearly as tasty as Altes, because we have the rights to Altes, and we're staying up nights and weekends making sure it's the best product we can make at 100% barley and imported German hops. Those are fine brands too, but I don't have rights to those brands, so I'd hate to speculate.
And you've got this one-year brew special for right now. Is that right, Eric?
Mm-hmm. Yes, we're proud that our first beer went into cans on the 19th of April. So we've been around for about a year to date, and what a year it's been.
Well, listen, all the best to you. All the best to Altes Beer, a Detroit tradition now brought back by you. And I'm drinking coffee right now. I wish I had an Altes right now. Are you drinking Altes now?
I got a six-pack right here. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, Charlie.
You know, the governor was drinking beer last weekend with us, so it's okay. It's a perfect time. Why not? Eric, all the best to you. We'll catch up later. Thanks.
Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers.